It's time for
It's Fanboy Weekly for all you geeks, nerds, and blurs. Let's get our geek on.
Welcome back. Welcome back. It is Fanboy Weekly. My name is David, and this is part of course, the 5x5 family of shows that I'm slowly trying to condense into a couple or two, because even I get confused. But I hope you guys are doing awesome. Happy Father's Day. We're depending on where you are. You may be a little bit an hour out of Father's Day like I am, but hey, this is really my Sunday night show, but it's actually Monday morning. But anyhow, to all my fanboy dads and geek fathers and nerd papas, happy Father's Day. I know you guys are training your kids up to be Jedis and Superman and Wonder Women and X-Men and all those good fanboy things. And there's nothing wrong with having a nerd father. I wish my dad was a little bit more of a nerd. But for some reason, I think he's just too cool to to be a nerd, but that's okay. I took him out to breakfast this morning, and we went to Golden Corral. Now, if you guys have listened to any other show of mine, whether it's the Fanboy Weekly show, Real Talk with David and Nikki, or the my late night show. And I've probably said it before, I can get a little bougie when it comes, or bougetto, when it comes to eating at buffets. I'm not really good at it because, one, I don't like a lot of people hovering over my food. I don't like people coughing on my food or hands and stuff. But I will make an exception for Golden Corral breakfast. It's not that bad. It really isn't. And I think they put something in that food anyhow that makes you fill up a little faster. But let me tell you, excuse me. And I'm finally getting better, everybody. I'm finally getting better. I was sick last Sunday and the Sunday before. I guess after we come back from Indie PopCon, or was that 3 weeks ago? But I'm feeling much better. Still coughing just a tiny bit, but my throat's not hurting. It's not scratchy. My chest is not hurting or anything. So knock on wood, formica, carpet, whatever. Whatever you have to knock on, but I'm thankful that I'm feeling a lot better. But I've been doing it. I've been doing a lot, and this week I just realized I don't have any days off coming up. I don't have any days off until the following week, which I don't know how I feel about that, but hey, do what you gotta do, because, and I'll talk about this a little later, I've added another con. That's why I've titled this podcast tonight, To Con or Not to Con. That is really the question. And then I'll get more into that a little bit later. But if I'm going to attend these things, because they're not free to go to, they're actually quite expensive when you think about what you do and what you go, and the amount of money you spend just for pictures and autographs and things you want to buy. They can be relatively expensive. Anyhow, back to before I get off on a tangent, I took my dad to Golden Corral for breakfast. Like I said, it's not too bad. So we had a good time. It's so funny because my dad is my dad. When I was little, even as an adult, we spent a lot of time together. Fishing and fishing. And my dad is a man of very few words. The older he has gotten, though, He's a little more talkative, and sometimes you like, my dad might be a little bit crazy. Because some of the stuff he was saying this morning was I was just kind of laughing to myself inside. But we actually had a very good breakfast, and um, it wasn't too bad. I hope you guys was able to spend some time with your father. And that thing is, I don't limit Father's Day because my niece and nephew, they see me as a father figure. Yes, they have a father, but their uncle. We're the we're like the, I don't know, like a mutant father, like a god, like a godparent almost. You know, and then in my particular case, both my niece and nephew have been a very, very big part of my life, especially my niece. She's the one that goes to all these little Comic Con things with me. My nephew actually went to OMG Con with us this weekend as well. But so I don't limit it to, because I feel like to them, especially to my niece, I've been the one of the, and my dad too. We've been a father figure to them both, and she said some really nice things to me today, and but she always has good things to say about me. We're extremely close, and that's why I said if anybody messes with her, they'll be looking for the body, and I mean that. You can't mess with my niece, because that's my heart. Um, but yeah. So I don't limit it, Father's Day to just the dads, because there's a lot of baby daddy out there that ain't fathers. Catch it. Um, no, uncles and stepfathers and godfathers and grandfathers, or even, mentors, people who are, they're not even related to you, can be seen in that role, if they're significant enough in your life. So I kind of that's a blanket for me, because I know there's a lot of men out there that are doing the right thing with young people in their lives that are not necessarily their biological parents. So I have to give kudos to those people. But anyhow, it is Fanboy Weekly, and so here on Fanboy Weekly, we talk about a little bit of everything. And my friends have joined me in the chat room. My my boy Ken Boggle and my friend Todd Morris from Prankville. What's up, fellas? How are you guys doing tonight or this morning? You guys, you can always join us in the chat room when we do a live show. And if you're on Spreaker.com, you can go to the chat room and chat with the good people in there, because they make me smile. And smiling is important, right? Sometimes, unless your teeth are beat, then don't smile. Um, but no, it is Fanboy Weekly. While I kind of nerd out and talk about what I've done recently, and this show kind of encompasses comic books, pop culture. I need to change the name. No, actually, I like the name. I was going to change the name before, but I changed my mind again. Um, But so I do a lot of geeky things, and as I've said before, I'm a fanboy come lately, because sometimes I don't get all the information. It's not. Sometimes I'm kind of late on some stuff, but I finally make it. I finally get up to speed, and I'm able to. Um, to give you guys and pontificate the information that I receive when I receive it, and and I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. But and we talk about, like I said, comic books and pop culture and movies and geeky things that I'm doing, and now that has been added to my. I don't know why I put so many things on my plate. Now I go to these comic conventions, which I'm getting my life and or trying to enjoy my life a little bit more. Working all the time just doesn't get it. So, before we get into talking about what I did this weekend and talking about my new comic book section and what I'm debating Comic Con wise, we're going to take a quick break and then we'll come back and we'll talk about some of those things that I just mentioned. Thank you guys for listening. It is Fanboy Weekly. My name is David, and we'll be right back.
Imagine a world where bullying isn't considered a normal part of childhood.
A world where I'm not afraid to go to school.
To speak out.
To be myself.
A world where I'm not afraid to be caught alone.
Come on, punk.
We have the power to stop the bullying. Speak out.
Speak up.
Educate.
Find out what to look for and how you can make a difference at bullying.org.
Bullying is not kids being kids.
It's not about good homes or bad homes.
It's not a normal part of growing up. I shouldn't be afraid to get on the school bus.
To turn on my computer.
Or walk to my locker. Did you know that a bully will stop his or her behavior in 10 seconds when their peers speak up?
Use your voice.
Hey, leave him alone!
We have the power to stop bullying.
Find out more at bullying.org.
Bullying.org.
Where you're not alone.
And you're not alone.
Where you're not alone.
Absolutely love that song. And I know I've played it before and you guys will probably hear it again. I don't care. But but no, I like that song. That's kind of hot to me because then I just automatically start dancing. I just automatically start dancing. And the other day I'm leaving work and I don't know if you guys like urban music or not. I know a lot of people's musical tastes vary. But at nighttime, the urban station locally, they play like 90s, what was that name? New Jack Swing music. And so as soon as I turned my car on, remember Al B. Sure from back in the day? Remember Al B. Sure? Yeah, I can dance. I can dance. I'm talking to the chat room. Remember Al B. Sure from back? He was the yellow brother with the kind of curly hair, and he sung real high. Gotta get off on your own, girl. Remember that song? And so I instinctively start doing the WAP when I get into the car. I'm like, oh, I need to slow my roll. But, hey, I was trying to teach my nephew a lesson at OMG Con this weekend. I was telling him that there'll get a point at a time in your life when you don't care what people think about you or what they say about you. Because at the end of the day, you have to worry about what you're doing that makes you happy. Because my niece and I, we've never really been shy to do anything. We've never been shy, really. And so we were dancing at this OMG Con that I went to this past weekend on Saturday. And because they had some kind of musical group that's playing like I guess they call it timpani's or something. The steel drums. And they were playing that song from Beetlejuice that was something Sonora, shake your body, that song, the song where they're all dancing at the end and all the stuff is moving. Anyhow, me and my niece start dancing, and my nephew was completely embarrassed, and he was like, "This is why I feel like a parent, because I can't embarrass my niece, but my nephew, he's still at that age to where it's like, oh my God, you're so uncool." Which I'm really, really cool. He just has he knows it, but he'll never admit it, and so. We're dancing. I was having a good time. I don't care. My thing is, when you're at a comic convention, how embarrassed can you really be when you have real grown adults dressed up as Slave Leia and Darth Vader and all these Digimons and Pokemons and Inuyashas and all that? How embarrassed can you really be? So I was trying to tell my nephew, I'm like, hey, you can't worry about what people think. People are always going to have something to say. People are always going to say something about you. Or somebody's going to always give you a side eye. Although I give plenty of side eyes, it's not unfun all the time. But he still didn't get it, and he wasn't having it. If he could have crawled and burrowed into the floor, he would have. And so, we just had a good time. But that's what I did. This past Saturday, I went to OMG Con, and it started out kind of shady. Not shady in the sense because I had contacted the organizers because they was having, just like Indie PopCon, where I had a little press pass because, yes, I'm a podcaster and I think I'm fabulous, but so I went to their little press room because they said, "Oh yeah, you're confirmed. Come and get your press pass and cover whatever you want." Cool. And so bonuses you get in free, right? So, but and then I went upstairs and it was like kind of shady, and he was like, "Well, I think you probably need to talk to such and such and such and such." I'm like, "No, I've talked to him. I asked for instructions and I wasn't given any." I like to I like, I like to have instruction. I like to know the rules. Like at Indie PopCon, they gave you kind of some guidelines that you need to stay within. Now, whether they were really enforced, I have no idea because I like following the rules. I'm not a rule breaker. And the guy, then he had to tape my press. Like he's had to tape my press. Like a little press sticker, he had to tape it onto my badge, which I was like, that's kind of hood, right? But anyhow, this was a OMG Con was in Owensboro, Kentucky this past weekend. I think today was the last day. And they had a ton of stuff. Although one of the panels, which I didn't go into because it was all about Buffy and not in a good way. It was about bashing Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I would have lost my mind. Y'all know how I feel about Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I would have absolutely lost my mind if somebody had come out Buffy sideways. I'd have been in there. They would have to ask me to leave the premises. But so they had that, and they had some Doctor Who panels. They did have really, really good panels. I didn't get to participate in any, but it seemed like the panels were really not really specific, but really specific to what they were talking about. But I guess that's what it should be. Not kind of all over the place. And they had anime stuff. They had the voice actors from a lot of these anime cartoons. And so I thought that was cool. I really didn't see where they were. And that's the one thing about some of these comic conventions that you don't really see. It's so much going on that you just don't. You miss stuff. But I'm a big Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan. Sue me. When my niece Buffy what came out in 1992, ended in 99. When my niece was little, she was a little girl. Did it end in 99? Because it was 99. When my niece was a little girl, I taught her the whole Buffy musical. That they had in one of the seasons, I think it was either in season 5 or season 6. Season 6, I taught her the entire Buffy musical, so she has a love for Buffy as well. She just finished the whole series on Netflix. So if you're a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan, watch it on Netflix because it's a great show. And I still, like, every once in a while, I'll restart the series and I'll watch it from season 1, episode 1 to season 7, episode 22 or 23 or whatever it is. So, because back at Indie PopCon, I actually met. It was 7 years. It had 7 seasons. Big. I think it's bigger now than it was when the show was new every week. Has a huge cult following. Big. Then it had a spinoff that lasted for 5 years with Angel. So it's huge. And then I met Nicholas Brandon at Xander at Indie PopCon, and we get the picture together of the comic book that he signed that he's writing now, of he and I, that his handler tweeted. So I thought that was really, really cool. Got to see him, although it cost me more money than I wanted to spend. But hey, it was an experience. So right now, I'm on a quest to meet all the people that I like from Buffy. And I'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But back to OMG Con. So it started with the press thing that was kind of shady and kind of shaky. And then then the rooms are supposed to, like the big vendor room, artist alley room, they were supposed to open at 9:30. And so there's this big guy here at the door. And I'm me, everybody's waiting, but nobody's asking questions. I want to know. Excuse me, Ken Boggle, what went on way too long? Please don't make me drive to Lexington. Please don't do it. They're Buffy bashing in the chat room. For those listening and can't see the chat room, they're Buffy bashing. That's all right. Okay, Ken, I'm sending you a big old Buffy the Vampire Slayer doormat for your new house. A big one. And when I come to visit, it better be out there. No, but and so everybody's kind of hanging around by this entrance. It's past the time for it to open, the vendor hall, and so he's just kind of standing there. And so y'all ain't asking questions. I want to know. So I sashay on up there. I said, "Hey, what's up? Why is everybody standing here?" And he says, "Well, it's not supposed to open for another 45 minutes. I said, "Excuse me?" I said, "That's not what the website says. That's not what your sign says." "Well, I'm not the one who runs things. So, all the vendors or whatever are getting ready, and I'll let you guys in when they say I can let you in." That's the problem. Be on time. Be punctual. Get a schedule, stick with it. Or, it doesn't matter, because we went and did something else. The one cool thing that they had at Indie PopCon, but not on the level at OMG Con, that was really, really cool. They had this big room. They had this big, huge room of video games. And not only video games, not really video games with like the arcade kind. They had, I swear, they had 300 different televisions. They had them small, generic ones, and then they had the flat screen LCD ones, and they was all set up, and they all had either Xbox, a Wii, a old school Nintendo 64, to where you could check out games and you could play these games. And I was like, oh, this is kind of hot. Although those little bitty TVs were hurting my eyes because I can't watch 480i anymore. I'm sorry. I know that might sound a little boo ghetto, but I just can't do it because I'm old like that. But anyhow, but I was really impressed with that. And then they was having tournaments, which they projected it on either side of the stage, where people were playing like Super Mario Kart or Mario Kart or something like that. So my nephew and I, we sat down, we played some games, which was kind of cool. But then, there comes a point of time when you realize you're really too old. You, you're no longer connected to that world. And we were playing, is it Call of Duty or something like that? And and so he's trying to explain to me. Normally, I'm the one that explains everything to everybody because I just am. And so he's telling me what to do, and this is the remote and this turns. I don't like Xbox. Sorry, Xbox. I'm a PlayStation kind of dude. Even Nintendo, Wii. But the Xbox, it has too many buttons, too many things to push. I didn't know what was going on. And literally every time I respawn, my nephew would come up and shoot me in the game and kill me. I got you again. I'm like, you know what? I'm ready to get you in your throat, but no, it was fun. So I thought that was very impressive. I was very impressed with that because it was huge. And if you go to, it's not up there yet, but eventually it will be on there. The 5x5.blogspot.com. You can see you can see the pictures of how big this video game room was, but it was kind of smelly. It was kind of smelly, and I want to say this, and I know, not that I get in trouble because I'm too old to get in trouble, but this is kind of shady. Now, OMG Con, it used to be in Paducah, so that's even further south in Kentucky and a little bit more western, almost into Illinois, where Metropolis, Illinois, right there around Paducah, they had the Superman celebration. So I made the decision, either go to OMG Con or go to the Superman celebration. Next year, I'll probably go to the Superman celebration. From the pictures I've seen, it looked kind of fly, regardless of all that. Some of these fanboys, y'all really need to wash your ass. I'm sorry. I think we get so caught up in our nerdiness and geekiness and our fanboy loves and wants. You need to wash your ass before you come out the house, especially if you dressed up and you got a costume that's little hot. Go on and little soap, little wash, little you think you only got to do 5 things: wash your face, wash under both arms, wash your crotch, and wash your ass. That's all you got to do if keep it fresh, But I was like, whoo, somebody pits all day. But anyhow, that was the video game room, so I like that. And the really funny thing is, since it's in Owensboro, like I was to continue my thought from earlier, I forgot how country Owensboro was. I live in southern Indiana in Evansville. It's the third largest city in Evansville. And in these parts, my city is the city. If you want to do anything, you come here. And so I used to go fishing. I used to go fishing in Owensboro with my dad. And I forgot because they used to be really known for tobacco. A lot of tobacco farms in that area, and so I forgot how country it was. Although I will say, to their credit, and to the point that I'm saying, I guess you can't count everything out. They have a Dunkin' Donuts and we don't, and that I had put that on my schedule. And yes, when I do travel, I do schedule, and I work in. If I want to stop somewhere, that time is worked. That's the crazy Virgo in me. I arrived exactly to the minute when I walked into the venue to where I said I wanted to walk in. Exactly the time. But I had scheduled my Dunkin' Donuts stop, and I got to, enjoy some Dunkin' Donuts, which I haven't had since I lived in Atlanta. Wash your right. Todd says #wash your ass, right? And so, but back to the country thing, there was a lot of bad teeth, and I'm kind of big on teeth. If I'm looking at someone in that light, there's a lot of bad teeth, and it wasn't just the attendees. It was some of the vendors and some of the artists. I was like, oh wow, I forgot I was in the country. And they're cracking me up in the chat room. And so And I was like, oh wow! And I seen a lot of John Deere hats. There was a lot of outfits with John Deere hats, and not that it wasn't attractive, because some of it was kind of like, all right, y'all did that. Um, but the venue actually it was the Owensboro Convention Center. It's kind of on point. I will have to say that it's not country. The convention center is better than any venue we do have here in Evansville. We need to step our game up because it's absolutely breathtaking. You can see some pictures. If you follow me on One Funny Guy on Instagram, you can see some of the pictures from OMG Con. But so we did that, and then we finally was able to go into the artist alley and the vendors, and I did get to buy some things. What did I buy? Oh, and I won probably one of the coolest things I've ever owned. I won a cool Stan Lee shirt. Again, if you follow me on Instagram at One Funny Guy, you can see that picture, or on Facebook, the 5x5, but spelled out. I won that. I did win a Battle of the Planets. If you guys remember back in the days, in the 70s, the Battle of the Planets. And I didn't realize that's anime. And it is because, that's because it is, but because it was made off of an original Japanese cartoon, which I forget the original name, but when we Americanized it and turned it into anime here in the States in the 70s, it had the Phoenix little plane, and there was all the 5 people that are like birds, but I won that as well. And I did. Oh, and you know what? I'm into collecting fanboy and superhero keychains. I bought a Batman, and then my backpack. Another thing that I've started, which is kind of insane because I'm crazy. I want all kind of pop culture buttons on it. That's going to be my thing. And I should have got a OMG button, but I didn't see one. But so the keychains. So if you guys want to send me a button or a keychain, let me know. Y'all can send me one. But anyhow, and I bought I did buy some things, and I just talked to people. And I guess, is it a good time? Well, you know what? Hey, I did speak to a young lady because I was trying to do and I deleted one of my interviews. Sorry. So this is more like a quick tell me who you are type of deal. So I'll let you guys listen to that, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you what else we did at OMG Con. We'll be right back. We're at OMG Con. My name is David from the 5x5 podcast, and we're here talking to...
I'm Jen. I'm with Daycon Clarksville. We're a little anime convention in Clarksville, Tennessee. Our convention this year will be taking place on September 19th and 20th. We have Artist Alley, Dealer's Room, Ramen, drinking tournament, lots of fun, lots of friends, and $1 from each of our ticket sales goes to our local no-kill Cats R Us animal shelter.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And what are you?
I'm a 5x5.
Great. And I won a Battle of the Planets with a little contest today. So check them out. Daycon Clarksville, coming in September. Thank you so much. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Some people
Y'all ain't ready. I like that song too. Anyhow, what you heard first, that was Jen, a really, really sweet lady. Well, girl, she wasn't a lady. That I spoke with, and actually I won something from at her booth. She was a rep for Daycon Clarksville, which is the smaller anime convention that's coming September 19th and the 20th at the Riverview Inn in Clarksville, Tennessee. So Clarksville, if you're going south from Indiana, Clarksville is about an hour west of Nashville, and I drive through it. I've never really started. I've stopped for gas in Clarksville before, but check them out. They're really, really nice. If you go to www.dayconclarksville.com, you can see all the information about their anime convention. And she was extremely nice. I liked her. She had really, really good energy. One of the very few people who had good energy, because sometimes you go to these events and I've heard it from everybody. Everybody knows people who go to these events, they know, like, okay, there's some vendors that they're not the most pleasant people to be around, and I talk about this all the time. If you expect me to give you any kind of attention, I mean any kind of attention, you need to pay some attention to me, and my kind of attention comes with money for you, because what you sell is a dime a dozen at these comic book conventions, because everybody's selling the same shit, right? And so there were several there. It was not to the point to where, like Indie PopCon, you were just kind of bombarded by so many different people and so many different things. You just couldn't make up your mind because there was so much to see. Here, it was a little bit smaller vendor-wise. And so my thing is, okay, you guys are battling for the dollars that are coming in front of you. Get with it. And then I look at some of the things to where this guy had posters, and some of them were raggedy, and he had like $10, $20 on them. I'm like, are you kidding me? I wouldn't give you 12 cents, really. But that's neither here nor there. But I did find some good things, get some good deals on some stuff, and I did meet somebody who was actually at Indie PopCon, and they did. This is part of my OMG Con, my new comic book obsession story. I have been I've been ordering and buying at the comic book store these blank variants. Now, what a blank variant is a issue, say Wonder Woman number 12. They'll make an issue that's blank, almost like a canvas or cardboard on front and back. Then it has the real copy, the real cover as the first page, but the cover is blank. And so what they do with the blank covers, you have artists, and for a long time I didn't know. I just thought they was just doing something special. I didn't know. See, I'm a fanboy come lately on that. And so what they do, you can have an artist at one of these conventions, because the other name for them are comic book convention covers. So you can have an artist do some original art of a character in the book. If you remember Indie PopCon, I had a caricature of myself as Animal Man done on my Justice League United number 0. And so I've been ordering these because I think it's cool. I'm totally obsessed, and I had to blame Corey. If you're listening to the show, Corey Brown, he's an artist, and he sold me on Free Comic Book Day. I've been looking at it ever since Evansville PopCon. He had a Wonder Woman issue number 18 or 19 that he had done on this blank variant of Stimpy from Ren and Stimpy as Wonder Woman, and so he finally sold it to me on Free Comic Book Day. And then after seeing that, I'm like, that's kind of hot. I like that because it's something that's unique, and sometimes you can get a lot of money for them if you get the right artists to do them. At Indie Pop Con, I had Larry Hama of Wolverine and now G.I. Joe fame. He did a sketch on my Avengers World #1 of Wolverine, and then I had the Animal Man done. So after those, so now I had those three. I'm like, okay, I want more. So I went on eBay and I ordered a Superman Wonder Woman, which is that line of comic book now #1. And I had my friends at Esclair Studios. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, guys. They did an anime version of Superman and Wonder Woman on the cover. Again, if you go to One Funny Guy on Instagram, you can see that cover. And I didn't know how I was going to like it because, again, anime is not really, not that I don't like the artwork, it's something I've never really been into. But she did a phenomenal job, and they colored the whole thing. Did it for a great price. And I meant to interview them, and then because I was reaching my time to where I had to leave, and so I didn't really get to talk to them as much as I want to, but they were really good people. If you go to ESCLAIR Studios on Twitter, you can find all their information. Good people. So I wanted to give them a little shout out as well. So that's my new obsession. It's doing these kind of blank variant covers. I do have coming in the mail and a Secret Invasions #1 blank variant. I didn't have anybody do my Superman Doomed, and then I also have a Young Avengers #1, which that's the GLAAD award-winning comic book, astounding comic book for this year was Young Avengers. So I started to collect that series. It's over now, but I'm trying to get the whole run. Oh, and by the way, I want to send a really quick shout out to a local comic book dealer here in town. His name is Matthew Halls, owner of Comics Unlimited. If you go to Comics Unlimited, Evansville, Indiana on Facebook, he's still going to be selling on eBay. He's still going to update his page. He closed his store today after 20 years to do more online and do more at the conventions. Congratulations for being in the industry this long in this area for 20 years. He's a great guy, has great stories. I went out yesterday to give him, and we actually went to school together, to say my goodbyes because I'm gonna miss talking to him because we had really, really great conversations. So best of luck, Matt. Thank you for all, because Matt is the reason I've caught up on, got a lot of runs of stuff, but also he's the reason that my basement is in shambles because I have comic books that I bought at his store because he had a phenomenal sale that I bought at his store since Free Comic Book Day. He's been closed, and that was May the 3rd, I'm sorry. So it's been about a month and a half that he's been running this sale, 50% off everything. And he closed the doors today and on to bigger and better things. So, and he's a really good artist in his own right. And also he does some stuff on YouTube with The Happy Show. And maybe I'll get Matt on the show soon, because I know he has some things on the horizon that he'll be doing, and he has a ton of knowledge. So best of luck, Matt. Thank you for all the good deals I got, and thanks for the great stories. So check out Comics Unlimited on Facebook. Well, I think we're going to take one more break, and then we're going to come back and wrap some stuff up, talking about some upcoming things for me, comic book wise, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do it like that. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Charlie. I fight fires and I save lives.
My name's Renee. I'm a cardiologist. I save lives.
My name's Anthony. I'm an EMT. I save lives.
You don't have to be a professional to save a life. Firefighters, doctors, and others save lives. You can too. Don't wait. To learn more about the warning signs and how you can help prevent suicide, visit save.org. In a crisis, call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-TALK.
I'm Jen. I'm with Daycon Clarksville. I'm 5x5.
looking for pearls to string and shine. This treasure's mine. This treasure's mine.
I still don't know what she's saying. I swear it's the chocolate box, but I've been trying to figure it out for months what she's been saying, and I still haven't figured it out. Welcome back. It is the 5 Fan Fanboy Weekly. My name is David, and we're just about ready to wrap up. I've been going on for a little bit now, and I'm getting tired of hearing myself talk. Always, you can find us on the 5x5.blogspot.com. You can find different things that you don't necessarily hear on the show that I'm blogging about or talking about or musing about at the moment. Or check us out on Facebook, facebook.com/the 5x5, completely spelled out. Or you can always send me a tweet at the 5x5, where the 5s are numeric. Let's see, what else? Oh, and then follow me on Instagram, One Funny Guy, the number 1, then Funny Guy. I always have interesting pictures on there, not necessarily fanboy stuff, just about everything. And you might see 1 or 2 pictures of me. You never know. But I do thank you guys for checking me out. Thank you, Stabby, for joining us in the chat room. Prankville and my boy Ken Boggle, thank you guys for rolling through tonight. Thank you, Jen, for being on the podcast from Daycon Clarksville. I appreciate that. I don't know if I'll be able to make it because I have a lot of things coming up. So I've been talking to my friends at the Thought Bubbles podcast, Chris and Elaine, about FandomFest, because while I was at OMG Con, I got a flyer for FandomFest. And when I tell you, from the looks of things, and that's the guy I got the really cool shirt from the looks of things, there is a ton of people that are going to be there. Now, FandomFest is going to be held August 1st through the 3rd at the Kentucky International Convention Center in Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville's only like an hour and 45 minutes away from me. So I would go and I would stay. But you also know, if you remember, I said I was going to go to the Nashville Wizard World because I wanted to meet my new Bennett from Spartacus. He was Crixus on Spartacus, and also he was Slade / Deathstroke on Arrow, which is a phenomenal show as well. So, here's the thing. I was telling you earlier about how these things are really, really expensive. I've been hearing a lot of bad press about FandomFest because I guess last year it was a total mergage. And what I mean by that is I heard it was totally disorganized. I've read some different things online about the guy who runs it being shady, and they have all these celebs, and the celebs don't like it. But here's my thoughts, and I'll say this. You know, unless they're lying about these people being here, you know, how bad could it have been last year if the celebrities are still signing on? You know, some of them are still, you know, on shows, I guess. Maybe not now. Lost Girls still on, but no, they have a plethora of celebrities, you know. A big chunk of the cast from Star Trek Next Generation. You have Worf, you have Dr. Crusher, Marina Sirtis, Data, she was Troy, LeVar Burton, and number one, Jonathan Frakes. They're doing a reunion. Then you also have the three leads from the American version of Being Human. Sam Witwer, Sam Huntington, McGann Rath. They're slated to be there. And then, like I was saying, I met Xander, Nicholas Brandon at Indie PopCon. This would be my opportunity to meet the one and only Faith from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Elijah Dushku. That would make my year. Well, her, and if I get to meet Stephen Amell, that would make my year, right? I wouldn't go to another con. If he was going to be there and I met them both, I wouldn't go to another one. And so also Darla, Julie Benz, who was Darla in both Buffy and Angel, she's going to be there, and there's a little VIP thing that you can do to see both of them together and hang out and stuff. So that's what I'm thinking I want to do. And it's like $225. See, this stuff is not cheap, but I would do it. That's not a lot of money. And I would spend the weekend, and I would go up early Saturday morning, get into the hotel, which the host hotel is sold out, I think. But I was still close in walking distance, and do the little party thing. Plus, I used to party in Louisville years ago, so I know what time it is. But Julie Benz and both Elijah Dushku are going to be there. So I would want to meet, there's two more off my list of Buffy the Vampire Slayer that I would have gotten to meet if they're going to be there. But from what I've been hearing from my friends, Kristen and Lane, they were like, don't go. They said, it was so bad last year, the fire marshal shut it down. And from the research I've done, I've heard a lot of the bad, and they're like the second people that I actually know that told me do not go. So I'm like, it can't be that bad if they're doing it again and people are buying tickets and they're going. I guess if you have this once in a lifetime chance to meet one of your favorite, fanboy, fangirl people on these shows, I guess you do it at any cost. And I'm not a spring chicken anymore, but I'm like, there's going to be Hercules is going to be the Kevin Sorbo. Let's see who else is on this list. Cooter, or not, I said Cooter. I need a bleep, man. Coot from True Blood, because True Blood starts up again on next Sunday. Skazina Solo from Lost Girl. Luke Perry, and when the flyer said Luke Perry down as Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I'm like, he wasn't in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I forgot. He was in the original movie with Christy Swanson as Buffy. Remember that? And he was a love interest. Always liked Luke Perry, though. He's not in nothing. Ray Park. Ray Park was Darth Maul in, was it Return of the Sith or Revenge of the Sith or something like that, the Star Wars movie. But he also was Toad in X-Men #1. Let's see. There's going to be Dr. Sylvester McCoy. He was at Indie PopCon. Bruce Boxleitner. I mean, they have the stars. They have it. They have them. Some pretty big names from these big kind of sci-fi, shows that they're going to be there. So if I was going to do it, that's how I would do it. I would, go spend the weekend up there. And I already told my niece, I said, girl, get your money together because we're going. But so I'm like, do I take the chance and then just have a really, really horrible time? Because it wouldn't be too much money, I guess. I guess it could be. But it's one of those things you just never know. And I'm going to wait. I'm not going to send him out. I'm going to wait to maybe 2 weeks before I even pay for my VIP, maybe just to see what the word is. I know I have some friends in Louisville, not necessarily that go to these type of things, but to see what the word on the street is, somebody on the ground. And but so that's what I'm debating on. So because if I do FandomFest, I may not do Nashville Wizard World because that's at the end of September, and FandomFest is like the beginning of August, which that could be a birthday present to myself to do that. But if it's done right, I know the Wizard World's gonna be done right because it's Wizard World. FandomFest, I've always been doing it for a while, but it's not. I heard there was so much bad stuff from last year. I mean, the bloggers and Facebook and Twitter was like kind of enraged about how bad it was, and I read a lot of stories, but then I read from some people like, I got to meet Stan Lee, and I waited and I did it just to it was a dream come true. So I guess if you look at it from that aspect, it's okay. But I don't know. I don't know. So I'm gonna keep my ear to the ground and I'm going to see how that all works out, and maybe you guys will be hearing more as the day progresses. When we get closer to the time it happens. Don't forget Sunday, June the 22nd, which is next Sunday. The 5x5 will be participating in Pride 48, their live streaming event. They do it every year, and this year, we have been included, the 5x5, which is me, part of their live streaming event. So I'm really excited to be a part of that. Always knew about Pride 48, and this year I have an opportunity to be part of the lineup. We are on Sunday, June the 22nd at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. For people in my area, that's Central Standard Time, that'll be 10 a.m. in the morning. I still don't know what I'm going to do exactly, and it's only at an hour, 11 to 12, 10 to 11, 10 to 11 Central, 11 to 12 Eastern, and we're on the website, and they're welcoming us to their live streaming event. They have a big convention in Las Vegas every year, so hey, maybe I'll get to go to Las Vegas next year and participate in that, or maybe I'll get to be part of the live part of the archive shows that they do. So who knows, but it could be a stepping stone. Like I said, I'm going to do this, and I'm doing this quite regularly, and I'm spending a lot of time doing this. Why not do it to the best of my ability and take it to the next level? So if you want to support me, and if you're up early on Sunday morning, I was going to do a late show, because they had asked me, they said, well, we know you have a late show, but the time was, well, I was still going to be at work. So, I could have been home, but I didn't want to run the risk of not being available and being stuck at work, which can happen. So if you're not doing anything on June 22nd at 11 a.m. Eastern, go to pride48.com and connect to their live streaming event and support yours truly, the 5x5. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate it. I think that's it. I think I'm done. As always, check out a lot of my friends here on Spreaker.com. Dwayne Hadley from the Dwayne Hadley Show, Blake and Jade, Ken Boggle, The Black Nuna Speaks. Love her show. She's really funny. Desert Rose. And I think that's it. I hope you guys have a great, great, great week. I'll probably see you back on Tuesday with a 5x5 late night show, or a Real Talk with David and Nikki, because Nikki's coming back. Thank you guys for joining me. My name is David. We'll see you next time. Good night.